That's our field trip.
And we should all know.
We are live.
We're live. This is Senate Appropriations Committee. It's March 11th. We are not talking about the budget. We are talking about a bill, S-219. We have Senator Hardy here to present the bill to the committee.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am Senator Ruth Hardy from the Addison District, and I'm here talking about S-219, which is a bill about energy navigators. Energy navigators are, if you're not familiar with them, are people who help homeowners and businesses save money on their energy bills and can help them transition to lower cost energy alternatives or transition to energy usage that is lower greenhouse gas emissions. So there are lots of benefits, and there are lots of different programs for energy navigators in our state. Some of them are remote energy navigator programs. Some of them are hands-on, community-based. Some are through our community action organizations. And depending on where you live, you might have access to one kind or another. And recently, we've had a lot of focus on trying to help people reduce the cost of their energy usage in order to make their homes more affordable and energy efficient. And there were some recommendations from a recent report from the Public Service Commission, Public Utility Commission and Public Service Department. I think it was a joint report maybe that recommended some changes in energy navigation and making it more accessible to people. So this bill builds on that recommendation and also builds on the work that's being done in a lot of our communities. And because I'm from the Addison District, one of the communities in my district there's a CEAC, which is the Center for Energy Action Coalition, I believe, of Addison County, and they have a hands-on energy navigation program where they go into people's homes and really help them access lots of different funding sources and programs to help them. Sometimes it's switching their furnace, sometimes it's insulating their homes, sometimes it's putting in better windows to do these things. And so they are working with a coalition of organizations to also make some recommendations. So this bill kind of melds the two. The Public Service Department is engaged in a study right now. They're just getting a consultant on board to do it on all of the energy use programs that are used to help Vermonters lower their cost of energy, sort of an evaluation and recommendations of those programs. And so when I heard that about them doing that work, I asked, would you be interested or available or willing to include energy navigation recommendations and program design in that? And lo and behold, they said yes. So that's what this bill does, is it builds on this work program and performance evaluation that the Department of Public Service is already doing, and then adds onto it a program design for energy navigator programs, which are community-based long-term energy navigation programs. Some of our neighboring states, specifically Massachusetts and Connecticut, already have these programs. They include coaching, et cetera, et cetera. So the bill includes this whole design. The reason it's in here is there's a little bit of money in it. I will note that there's a lot less money in it now than it was when it was introduced. So your Senate Natural Resources Committee tried to be as efficient as possible. So if you look on page 4 of the bill, there is an appropriation of $25,000 to the Department of Public Service to hire a third-party consultant to do energy navigation report.
Are you saying they already hired them? But
they've hired them to do the bigger study, and they're going to tack this onto it.
So it's kind of to amend the contract they already had, or that they were planning on having.
Yeah, and I think they're right now out to bid for it. And my understanding is that they are willing to go ahead with this regardless of funding sources, but I cannot speak for the department, so you should talk to them. And that they're willing to look for funding sources to help. And then there's $10,000 for the Climate Action Center. This is the Addison County group that's been working on this as well. And they're supposed to be sort of working in consultation with the department. So those are the appropriations in the bill.
Okay.
I'm assuming you guys will do your magic and take them out and everything and put in language, but I would just say the language that you often put in about if they don't get money, this won't happen, the more elegant version of that Ellen will draft for you. There may be ways to make it happen anyway. I'm just cautioning you about
We can
that.
do it a couple different ways about allowing them to find a way to do it, or saying, just nothing happens if there's no money, so we give them more flexibility.
That would be great. And Alec Anchek from the department he seemed very eager and helpful to do this. So not speaking for you, Alec, if you're listening, but he was very, very great to work with.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
And then I just wonder about the verb in that appropriation for the department, to hire, like they will have already hired somebody. They want to use this money to pay consultants to do more work than they would have.
Correct. They would be basically adding on to a contract, this extra little program design for energy navigation. So yeah, you could change the verb.
I don't know if it's just crystal clear of what they would be using the $25,000 for, but I guess it's less complicated. I read it and I'm not 100%,
It's a
but maybe
report.
because the report has to be done, because it says it's to hire the consultant for the report, and the report says maybe that's
The report, you're talking about the report in little c above.
well, I'm talking about the appropriation. It says it's $25,000
Yeah.
for the department to hire a third-party consultant.
Yeah, no,
for
we got
the-
that.
I don't know if to say to hire is the right thing we want them to do with the money.
I wonder if
Expand
it's
their
to
contract to
contract.
include.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure they know what you mean.
You
so
can do
they'll-
it.
They'll figure it out. Do you want to say anything about that?
I'll check out the office of legislative counsel. I drafted that before they had testimony on where they were in the process.
Okay.
So I, at the time, was not aware that they were already partway through. So that's why, and so I think you can change it.
Okay.
And to be fair to Ellen, this all happened really fast. We were trying to get bills out because we have so many of them.
I was
So
not trying to cast any shade on it.
yeah, it's okay. I take full responsibility. That was the word I probably put in there. So change it away.
Okay.
Be careful
Have
what
fun.
you wish for.
Oh yeah, that's true. Make it a good verb, a positive, proactive, energy navigation verb.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes,
Oh.
Senator Norris.
Senator Norris.
I do have a question. I
Sure.
don't know if it should be directed towards Senator Hardy or on page 3, line 4, where it says provide ongoing state funding to support the operations, blah, blah. Is that referring to the $35,000 of 25 and 10, or is that something separate?
That is a good question. It is not, and you could, that's language that was in the original bill, but you could modify that to say something like make recommendations about funding sources or something like that, because they're supposed to recommend, like, if we make these changes to the navigation programs, how could they be funded? And it's possible that they could be funded with there are like 100 programs right now that do some sort of energy assistance. So it could be folded into something that already exists, or there could be another funding source. So this was just sort of meant to get at, if you design a program, how could it be supported?
But
I would suggest putting a pin in there so we can find out exactly what this may or may not consist of.
because the way I read it is that the report would say, it's a designing a report, so the design would, I guess,
How to.
provide ongoing state funding. I don't know how you would design it that way. I guess they would just maybe make a suggestion for funding.
Yeah, once you design a program, how could it be funded, basically? And they would make
Funding is needed.
recommendations for
The report would tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Exactly,
guess the report would say like, or here's the dollar amount.
yeah, exactly,
It wouldn't obligate funds. It would just-
correct,
It would be in the report.
yeah. But that's a good catch, Senator Norris.
Well, you know, I get lucky every now and then.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you all for taking this up. Appreciate it. I think Senator Watson should report it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll
We
see.
reported all our bills
Or
today.
should-
We just have every day have a report on all the bills.
Well, I'm 2 for 2 today, so.
Thanks for
Okay.
having me in. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So Ellen, so I think we might wait until tomorrow to have an amendment, but I think, my guess is that we're gonna want an amendment that allows the department to maybe go forward, but even if there's no money. So I wondered if you could prepare something that you send us for tomorrow that says, we're taking the money out, but the bill stands. Does that make sense?
Yes, I guess my slight question though is, that subsection A on the appropriation on page 4, that is about the department, and their funding to the consultant. But then subsection B is, to the climate action center.
Yeah, I would I guess it'd be the same for both of them. If the Climate Action Center wants to collaborate with the department without the money, they could continue to do so. So
Okay.
it'd be the wording of like taking that money out, but allowing the bill to pass with the reports.
Okay.
I don't know how we worded it, where like, whether it's an obligate, like, I don't want to say they have to do it
Right.
without the money, but like, they could, and here's the report that they would do. So I think we have language that somebody else drafted.
Okay.
Okay. Internorm?
So is it my understanding, and I could be totally wrong, that this is a bill that basically may provide some monies for a study or a one-time report back? It's not an ongoing function,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Designs a program that
And-
could inform.
Could or could not continue, is what we're saying. We're not voting to continue this, we're voting to look at this as a study, so to speak, with a report coming back from.
Right, and the amendment will take the money out, so there won't be any money, so the Department of Public Service wants to do the study without the money. Here would be the report that we're asking for.
And you're gonna hone in on the wording on page 3, line 6.
Well, I'm not
Says
worried.
use
about-
available grant funds,
Well, at least how much
I'm sorry,
money is needed.
provide ongoing state funding.
Yeah,
Right, because
Yeah.
those are the items, those 7 items are things to include in the design of the report. So the design of the report would, I don't know if providing is the right word, because the report can't provide funding, but maybe they would.
Recommend
Yeah, maybe we could also make
something along those lines.
adjustment there.
So I do think that the phrasing here is a little bit awkward, but
Yeah,
A establishes that they have to have a report that proposes a design of this program, and then subsection B goes on to list the elements of what the program should have. And that is where this includes provide ongoing, funding,
so we
so,
say provide an estimate of ongoing funding needs or something?
and potential sources.
That provide recommendations for ongoing state
Yeah,
funding.
recommendations for.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I wonder about number 7 as well, in that same light.
Right, recommendations
Use available
for
grant
available
funds.
grant funds.
So recommendations on grant funds, private
Yeah.
partnerships.
Recommendations for use of available grant funds.
So we'll give Ledge Council time to do that, and then tomorrow we can look at it, not try to finish it today, so tomorrow we'll look at that, and you may not need to be here, but if you can be here, that's great.
Good.
We'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
We'll figure